For the civilized world, it is a shameful fact that nearly 2 billion people still defecate in the open. Trillions of dollars are lost globally due to diarrheal diseases, infant and maternal mortality, loss of human labor, tourism, and many other aspects, causing loss to GDP, mainly by open defecation and poor sanitation.
Teto Madagasikara tsy dia nanana ny lanjany ny sehatry ny fanadiovana ary ny asa natao amin'ny fanamboarana kabone dia tsy tomombana satria mbola ilay kabone atao fanomezana. Dia niditra teto Madagasikara ny CLTS tamin'ny taona 2004 tamin'ny alalan'ny UNICEF, saingy tsy nahazoana vokany izany satria tsy ampy ny fiofanana azo ka nahatonga ny fanatanterahana izany tsy dia nety loatra. Dia rehefa nanomboka ara ny programan'asa FA tamin'ny taona 2004 dia UCLTS no approche ny ompanana, saingy no ilay olona teo amin'ny fanatanterahana izany dia tsy nahazo vokany nahafa-po. Teo ara no nitsiriany hevitra teo amin'ny GSF sy ny FA fa ilaina ny miara-miasa amin'ilay namorona ny approche CLTS hanamafisina fahalalana momba izany CLTS izany. Dia nafarana ary tonga teto Madagasikara i Dr Kamalkar izay mpamorona io approche io, nampianatra sy nanamafy ny traikefa. Betsaka no nahazo fiofanana toy ireo mpanantanteraka fotony na ny AMO izany toy ireo mpanantanteraka foibe na ny AE, mpandrindra sy mpanoro lalana na ny MCP, ary tsy adino ireo namana hafa miara-miasa eo amin'ny sehatry ny fanadiovana sy fidiovana. Nilaina tokoa izany fanamafisana traikefa izany satria dia nanomboka nahazo vokatra amin'ny programme FA ary tsy mitsaha mitombo izany hatramin'izao. Ary ny tena lehibe dia nitarika tsirikevitra isan'ambaratongany teo amin'ny fanatanterahana ny asa, ny fahombiazana azo tamin'ity approche ity, ka nivoaka tamin'izany ny fomba fanapaharihana aingana kokoa sy mahomby ahatonga ny Madagasikara iray manontolo ho afaka mitay miparitaka anatin'ny fotoana fohy.
Open defecation is, in fact, both a result and cause of poverty in many third world countries. This vicious cycle of OD and poverty has been readily recognized by Madagascar and many other nations in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Despite large funds being spent to improve sanitation, the problem of open defecation continues, as many people find nothing wrong with it.
The traditional approach of tackling the mammoth problem of open defecation globally is to construct latrines. So far, millions, billions of dollars have been spent all over the world to construct latrine. In other words, the conventional idea was to construct latrines for the poor people, and it was thought that they will be using that. But millions of latrines are not being used. They were constructed, money was being spent, but they were either used as chicken house or a store or a grain store or livestock shelter or something. The whole issue here in CLTS is that the collective hygiene behavior must change, and only then people will understand the need for toilets, and only then they will be used. But without changing that hygiene behavior, the construction of thousands and thousands and millions of latrines is not going to help.
Clearly, the top-down prescriptive approach has failed to work. The practice of OD can only stop when the community understands its dangers and internalizes for itself the harm this does to all in the community.
Community-led total sanitation is a multi-stage facilitation process whereby the external facilitators, they facilitate a collective analysis, particularly visual analysis by the local communities, whereby the local communities, they understand and they rediscover from their own analysis, they discover the existing sanitation situation of their own village. And with this hands-off facilitation, Facilitators only facilitate. Entire information analysis is generated by the local community who participates in making maps and transit walks and all that. Through that analysis, they realize the whole problem of opentification. They plan and try to come up, with their own plan to stop the practice of opentification as quick as possible. It's a process of self-realization which moves into a self-mobilization process. Community decide to stop this practice and get out of it. And that's what is community-led total sanitation. It's not a prescription or pressure or trying to convince something to the community.
The CLTS process begins after the climate setting and introduction. The facilitators explain the objectives of the visit clearly, like no subsidy or materials will be provided, neither any suggestions or prescriptions. This is clearly a learning exercise where the community members are the teachers while the outsiders are the learners. Once the objectives have been explained, children and adults are separated for the triggering exercises. After an initial rapport has been built, the groups are invited to draw a large OD area map to indicate the areas of open defecation, flow of shit, and the pathway of its spread. On the ground map, the community indicates its place of open defecation, leading to calculation of shit on daily, monthly, and yearly basis. Finally, the CLTS facilitator helps the people calculate the health and economic costs of eating shit. While the subject is serious, the process can be a lot of fun. After the mapping, community members are taken on a transact walk through the OD areas. This usually awakens a sense of shame and disgust. Another participative method is the use of yellow powder to show how the feces travels back to contaminate food and water. Other colored powders indicate emergency defecation. Even a glass of water or food helps to demonstrate how everyone in the community ends up eating each other's shit. Now, the majority is convinced that it is best to build or share toilets. Those not fully convinced are encouraged by peer pressure to stop open defecation. Even children play an important role by chanting slogans against OD. And making presentations to their parents. Some adult members write slogans about it. Some people who want to start digging pits immediately raise their hands. When a number of communities is triggered at a time, they are generally invited to a large presentation where the communities share their plans and dates of ODF declaration. Community forms sanitation committee to implement the plan. Within 24 hours, many people start constructing toilets. The video cameraman goes to record the initiatives of early beginners and interviews them.
Taoriana amin'ny fanentanana zany nanaovana an'io lavaka io dia vao lasa namonjy an'ilay fivoriana nanentana an'io hoe ilaina ny anaovana an'ilay lavaka mba hialana amin'ny fahasalamana mihitsy.
Manahoana sy manahoana ny programmanao an'ity zao rehefa izy ity no vita dia
Programan'izy ity zany tsy mihoatra ny herinandro dia tsy maintsy vita.
The communities achieving ODF status early are encouraged, which triggers the slow-moving communities to speed up. The external facilitators and natural leaders monitor the progress of ODF in villages. Once declared ODF by the community, a joint committee verifies ODF status on 3 basic criteria. No shit in the open, fly proof,